Hello, my dear students. Myself, Dr. Sanjay Chabda, Professor, Faculty of Law and Governance, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. This session is continuation of our last session number 9 of functional accounting for BCom LLB 6th semester. This is 10th session related to Unit 3 and session name is Accounting Concepts and Conventions. In our last session, we have discussed accounting concepts like accounting period concept, business entity concept, dual aspect concept, realization concept, matching concept, then business entity concept and cash concept. Now in continuation, now next accounting concept is very important, that is money measurement concept. Under money measurement concept, we will record only that transactions in books of accounts which can be measured in terms of money. Only monetary transactions are recorded in the books of accounts. Non-monetary transactions, even if they are of high importance, they are of high value, which impact the business, are not recorded in books of accounts as they are not measured in terms of money. So transactions which we can measure in terms of money, only that transactions we can record in the books of accounts. So example, in a business, owner and salesman, they have very good relation, very cordial atmosphere is there in the business. Both of them, they are taking keen interest in the business. As a result, business flourished. They are getting more and more profit. But so because of some incident, there is some dispute, misunderstanding between salesman and owner. As a result, that salesman is not taking interest in the activities of the business. He is not handling the customers properly. As a result, what will happen? That sales will come down. It will affect sales. Maybe we will lose our customers. We will reduce our profit. It will reduce our profit. Even then, we cannot record in our books of account as the loss because of the dispute of owner and salesman, because it cannot be measured in terms of money. So, my dear students, any transaction which is of high importance or very important, but if it is not measured in terms of money, it will not be recorded in the books of accounts. Only transactions which can be measured in terms of money value will be recorded in books of accounts. Clear? The next concept is going concern concept. Going concern concept means we assume, or when we start a business, we always used to think that business will go for long run. Business will run for long period of time. We never think of shutdown of business. When we started a business, then every time we used to think it will go on forever. So now we know there are two types of expenses, revenue expenditure and capital expenditures. So revenue expenditures we used to record in the same accounting period, that is revenue income compared with revenue expenditures to know profit and loss. But capital expenditures are value on expenditures, that are assets. So these assets we used to carry forward, or items appearing in the balance sheets we used to carry forward to the next year, and it will go on like that. That capital expenditures will carry forward to the coming years, assuming that business will go for long run. So when we are using assets, a part of assets, a part of capital expenditure is transferred to revenue expenditure as deferred revenue expenditure, because we have used that assets. So a part of that amount, capital expenditure, we used to transfer to profit and loss account, but the rest part it will carry forward to the next years. We used to sell goods on credit, we used to purchase goods on credit. So debtors and creditors will continue, like our business. Debtors and creditors will continue. Maybe we'll realize in the coming years, maybe we'll pay in the next year. Assuming that business is not going to shut down, business will continue forever. That is going concern concept, longevity of business. So friends, my dear students, these are our concepts, and besides these concepts there are certain conventions, policies which is framed to maintain accountability, reliability of the accounts. So first convention here we say convention of full disclosure. So under accounting system there is a convention of full disclosure. It means that each and every item, if they are of importance to the business, has to be disclosed in the accounts. Even if there is assumptions, even we are assuming anything that may or may not happen, then also we can show it. If they are of importance to a business, we can show it as a footnote in the accounts. Nothing should be concealed from that these accounts. In accounts, whether it is of small importance or a big importance of related to the business, that event, that item has to be disclosed in the business. Then even one is, second convention is convention of materiality. Under convention of materiality, we used to follow rule that materiality means like we need not open unnecessarily more and more accounts. If we can suffice our accounts by reducing heads of the expenditures or heads of accounts, that will be more appropriate, provided it is material. Now suppose we purchased law, we purchased pen, we purchased paper, we purchased paperweight, we purchased stapler. So no need to open accounts for all these. We will open one account, stationery account. Now we have so many debtors. We used to sell goods to so many persons in a business on credit, Mr. A to Z, Mr. 1 to Mr. thousands. We need not write name of each and every debtors or creditors. Simply we'll keep record of them in our debtors book or creditors book, that is purchase day book or sales day book. But in our balance sheet, to reduce the size of balance sheet, we can simply write sundry debtors or sundry creditors. So immaterial things need not be recorded in the accounts. Only accounts where things or items which are of material, which is reliable, which is of importance to the business, that has to be reflected. Then conventions of consistency, very important. Consistency, like as we assume that business will go for long run, so for 1 year we charged depreciation on our assets, say on straight line method. As you know, depreciation means decrease in the value of assets due to wear and tear or due to use. So there are usually in practical, so for timing we will discuss about two methods of depreciation, that is straight line method or reducing balance method. Under straight line method, fixed percentage. So like 10,000 rupees of machine, 10% depreciation. So every year we will charge 1,000 depreciation up to 10 years. Under reducing balance method, first year 10%, 1,000, 9,000. Next year on 9,000 we will charge 10%, 900. So it is the reducing balance. So if we have followed straight line method, then in next year also we have to follow the same method. Consistency. We are not allowed to change the method frequently without any appropriate reason. If stocks, closing stocks are valued at cost, or if we are valuing closing stocks or at market price, or whatever our methods of accounting is, we must follow the same method of accounting in coming years also. That is consistency. It should be consistent, no change. Change is allowed if it is reasonable or required, but every time frequent changes in the method of charging depreciation or valuation of stock, or from cash method to accrual method, that is not allowed, not acceptable. So consistency says that it has to be consistent in nature. Then very important convention is convention of conservatism. Conservatism means as a human being we are always conserved in nature. You ask any of your friend, any student friend, that my dear friend, how is your preparation for exam? The reply is common. We know reply that my preparation is not well. I have just started. You ask your friend, you have notes? No, I have no notes. I am also trying to collect notes. You ask any of your friend businessmen, how is your business going on? He will say, somehow I am earning. Business is not running in profit. Maybe that business is running in huge profit. Maybe that student is prepared very well for the exam. But we will always anticipate negative. We will always anticipate negative aspect. So in business, in accounts, we used to record our anticipated future losses. We will never record our anticipated future gains, but we will record our anticipated future loss. That is by making provisions. So like provision for doubtful debt. We used to assume that on the basis of our previous year figures, this year also maybe we will not receive this much from our debtors. So we will make provisions for estimated losses, expected losses, which are not actual, but we will make provision which we can say is a charge against profit. We will reduce our profit by providing that provisions. So on the basis of conservatism, even like when we used to value our closing stock, then by what method we will value closing stock? Suppose in your final account, at the end of the trial balance or at the bottom of the trial balance, in additional information, it is given closing stock, cost price 50,000, market price 60,000. So which figure we will take into account? So as per conservatism concept, stock is always valued at cost price or market price, whichever is lower. Because if we will take higher value, it will increase our profit. So as per conservatism concept, always anticipate losses. So on the basis of that conservatism concept, stocks are always valued at cost price or market price, whichever is lower. That is, always anticipate future losses. That is conservatism concept. So my dear students, we have read accounting concepts and conventions, which we can say are the pillars or the foundations for our accounting system. So again I will repeat conventions: full disclosure, convention of materiality, convention of consistency, and convention of conservatism, along with the concepts we have already discussed. So from this session or from this chapter, you can prepare your question: what are the different types of accounting concepts and conventions explained in detail. And being a student of accountancy, you must know these concepts and conventions. Thank you.